Hello, and welcome to another edition of Art Talk. And this is our third installment of Road Trippin' with Andy and my good buddy Stephen. Yes, that's you.
Oh, me.
We're still here.
Hello.
So I've let Stephen out of the car and had him join me today. So I thought we were in the flattest state in the country. It turns out we are in like the fifth flattest state in the country.
What can be flatter than this?
Florida.
Really?
Who knew? But Kansas has
Kansas
has a bigger reputation for being flat. So we are here on our third stop on our Road Trippin' with Andy series. And I just want to let you know, I can teach anybody who wants to learn how to paint. So I've got Stephen White, who's usually behind the camera or behind the steering wheel, with me today. And Stephen is going to be painting the state flower of Kansas. So there he is doing his best Vanna White. There you go. Of our state flower of Kansas, which is the sunflower. So I am very excited to have you back as a guest on Art Talk.
Me too, man. I sense a theme that if we're painting sunflowers, I'm on this side of the camera.
You are absolutely right. And I know that we did sunflowers several episodes ago when we were just in our Atlanta studio. But now, we're on the road. So.
Like we said, we packed the studio with us. We're on the side of the road right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And since we're on the side of the road, I have to let you know that when we were talking about stopping in Kansas, I told Stephen, I said, it is going to be windy. The wind is always blowing. Whether it's blowing hot air or cold air, the wind is blowing. And Dodge City, Kansas is the windiest city in the United States. The wind is almost always blowing about 14 miles an hour.
They need to reclaim that title from Chicago.
I know, but what are you going to do? We are here in windy Kansas, and we are going to be painting sunflowers. So the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to move the canvas over to the left side of my palette. So you're going to move yours to your left side. There you go.
Off to a great start.
We are always off to a great start. And so I'm going to put out some sunny yellow, which is a very light color yellow, and you are going to put some out as well. And this is going to be...
Does that look about right? Any more than that?
That looks about right. I was going to say this was going to be, you can leave it there, monkey see, monkey do, but this is monkey doing and a great guy following along.
Oh, come on.
So the only monkeys we have in Kansas are what kind of monkeys? Flying monkeys, of course.
Oh, that was great. That was a great transition, actually.
Sometimes, Stephen, I do have a moment. Usually I'm just dragging behind in Stephen's fumes and hoping for the best. So this color that Stephen is putting out on his palette now and that I have put out is aqua. So we are going to grab a 1-inch flat brush, and we are going to grab our brush, put the handle in the palm of our hand.
We're doing it Harry Potter style.
And then grabbing it, yes, Harry Potter style. And now that Stephen's thrown out the Harry Potter reference, I'm just going to have to follow along because he's the wizard, I am not. And so the wand chose the wizard. That I do know. All right, so I'm going to pick up some aqua, and Stephen's going to watch me get started, and then he's going to jump on in, and I'm going to take some sunny yellow, and we're going to brush mix that until we get a really kind of turquoisey green color like that. And we are going to start at the lower left corner of our canvas, and we are brushing this color on, kind of making X's. And when it feels like you're starting to run out of paint, don't keep painting. That's just going to frustrate you. So go in, pick up a little more aqua. So then we're just going to brush that on, moving across the canvas. And this isn't difficult painting. And some people are going to be wondering if Stephen and I have practiced and rehearsed this ahead of time. We have not.
I haven't. I don't know what you're doing back there in the back of the van, but I'm driving.
If I'm in the back of the van, I'm sleeping. There is never any question about that. All right, so it's time for you to get started.
Okay.
And we're just going to continue to brush mix sunny yellow and aqua.
Did you flip it over?
I did flip it over.
Okay.
Very good to notice that. Hold your brush handle up a little higher so you can press. There you go. And we're going to just keep adding more sunny yellow as we move up the canvas. And this is kind of not a typical color way that I paint in, but it's a really pretty color. And once you get something you feel comfortable with, get on your canvas and get going.
Okay. Starting from the bottom left.
Yes.
Which way are you going? Let me watch you.
I started over here at the bottom left and just worked across the bottom of my canvas, and then I'm working up the left side. There you go. I'm not gonna micromanage you too much. This is like I don't backseat drive very well, or at all, because
No, you're asleep the whole time.
That's 100% true, because I used to travel with some people who cannot rest if anybody else is driving, and I'm like, then you go ahead and drive. I'm perfectly fine resting. So I can sleep with just about, if I think you're an okay, safe driver, I'm going to be napping.
Oh, well then you're really not paying attention because...
I am not. I've got to trust you. And, you know, I just gotta go with it. All right, so I'm just, as I move up my canvas, I'm adding more sunny yellow. You just keep moving across your canvas. You're doing fine. But I can nap in a train. I can nap on a plane. I can sleep on a boat. I could sleep with a goat. It does not matter to me. I am such a firm believer in sleep and naps.
You have a good mattress?
I do. I have a really nice, one of those big memory foam mattresses. But I will tell you, Stephen, without that, I can sleep on
Cobblestone.
Well, cobblestones are not that comfortable, but in my youth, I will admit to sleeping in train stations and airports and wherever I had to. Just keep picking up more paint as you're going.
Is it a big deal if the new paint mixture that I'm making now, for instance, is going to be like slightly different from...
No, because you're going to blend it right in. You're just going to keep making those little X's kind of right on top of what you were doing.
Okay. I think I forgot to make X's, but we'll start that
That's
now.
okay. I'm not worried about you. You're doing good. Make sure to get that bottom part of your canvas down there. There you go. So see how it goes when you start making those X's? No problem. All right, now make another mix and add some more of your sunny yellow to that so that it gets more yellowy in color. All right, I'm going to tell you not to swirl like that.
Oh,
just make little pulls with your brush. There you go.
What happens if I swirl? What's the...
It just spreads your brush hairs apart. It's just not treating your brush real good. And we want to treat our brush like it's our friend. I know you don't want me to do my Bob Ross imitation for you just yet. But we want to be kind to our brush. It's our world, but we've got to share it with a nice brush. So let's be kind to our brush.
That's a lot of yellow.
That's okay. Mix it in. It's going to be fine. See how much yellow mine's got going up to the top? Just like fancy.
I guess if you're Bob Ross, that makes me Steve Ross? Is that his name? What's his son's name?
I don't know.
The one that was also painting.
It could be.
I'll look it up and throw it up up somewhere. I think it's Steve.
Okay. I was thinking Steve Jobs, but that's not quite the same thing. All right. So I'm going to call mine done.
Okay.
And you're just going to keep adding some more sunny yellow to yours as you move up. You don't need much more of that aqua in there.
Okay.
We want to really start changing it to a lighter yellow color. And
Message received.
Yes. Well, I'm just glad that you've decided to sit across the table from me again, because if you haven't seen the sunflower episode, Stephen is a video editor at heart. That is what his creative passion is in, that and kind of doodle art. But painting is not something that he aspires to. It's not his shtick.
My hand naturally starts to hold it like
that's
pencil.
That's why you want to grip it at the back and just work it like that. It becomes more second nature to you. But since you like to draw, you're probably used to grabbing a pencil and hanging on tight.
Mm-hmm.
This holding the brush handle back is foreign feeling.
It
But
is.
look at, there you go. Look at those X's. You got it now.
I'm cooking.
You are cooking with gas. So I'm going to try not to stare at you as you...
I mean, you're done. You don't have
I'm
a ton
done.
else to look at. You
Yeah.
know?
But, well, we could be looking at the beautiful Kansas countryside, which, as we know, is covered with sunflowers.
Mm-hmm. It's the state flower.
It is the state flower. It's also one of
Did we say that already?
I don't know if we did or not. Probably not.
It's the state flower. We'll say it again.
Okay. And I'm sure Stephen will edit in a bunch of sunflowers. But they, they have, as you're driving through Kansas, you see just fields of sunflowers. And I am imagining that right at the edge of those fields of sunflower are some of the fattest squirrels known to man.
Oh, they got to be eating good.
Because if you've got a huge field of sunflowers, you know those little squirrels are just munching down on them. So I'm going to point out one little area. We've got a harsh line right there.
Yeah, I'm seeing that as well.
Okay, so just take your brush and just keep brushing over it. That paint's still got plenty of life in it. And we're getting a really nice transition there. See how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm loving what you're doing. And so what we're going to do now that we have gotten our background all done, and Stephen, just because I'm giving you some time doesn't mean you have to keep painting.
No, I'm noticing other things now.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you play with it for just a little bit. And what we're going to do is take a quick break. We're going to get us a beverage of some kind, maybe even some, I know you're not a big fan, but barbecue, some Kansas barbecue. It's not Kansas
I'll
City
check it out, you know?
Yeah,
When in Kansas.
Well, that's true. And you got to keep in mind that we've got Kansas City, Kansas, and
Kansas City, Missouri.
that's right.
Not the same state. That's not where we're at.
Not the same city either. So we're going to take a little break, get us a snack, and our canvases will be dry when we come back. I'd like to take a minute to thank Plaid Enterprises for sponsoring Art Talk. They are the makers of folk art acrylics, which I absolutely love using. I've used this paint since I was a young tot, and now that I'm an old fart, I still use this paint. We have a 17-piece set that we've curated just for you. Ordering information is in the description below, and we also have great brushes for you. We have a 7-piece set of Folk Art Select Firm Bristle brushes. These are absolutely incredible. I use them every time I paint. And I've never done that in my entire life. Now, let's get back to our video. All right, folks, we are back in the car, or on the side of the road as Stephen would have us, and we've dried our backgrounds, and we've transferred our sunflower design on there, as Stephen is showing that off again. I mentioned that he was doing his best Vanna White. There is yellow ochre that Stephen's going to put out on his palette, and also a little burnt umber. I would have said that he was doing his best Carol Merrill, but he probably doesn't know Carol Merrill at all.
I'm sure I'll find out.
Well, Carol Merrill was always on Let's Make a Deal, and she was either pointing at the box that was on the floor or one of the 3 secret doors that you could win a prize behind.
Oh, I've heard of this show.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Carol Merrill was she was the Vanna White of that show.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so we are shifting down to our number 12 flat brush. Okay. And what we are going to do is kind of lay the foundation for our sunflowers, and then we're going to come back and put our leaves under there. Okay. All right, so I'm going to pick up I'm going to show you how to do this,
Yep.
Stephen. I'm going to pick up a little burnt umber and more yellow ochre on the brush. It's going to kind of be a gross color. All right, so that's what we're aiming for. And what we're going to do is, again, we're holding our brush back at the end of the handle, so we are doing this in a painterly fashion. All right, and we are going to go right around the center of our sunflower, and I'm just using the corner of my brush, painting out onto the petals and not so much into the sunflower. All right, so I'm going to let you go ahead and do that with yours.
Okay. So, a little bit of brown or
Burnt umber. You can call it brown.
That was a close one.
I know.
And then a little bit of yellow ochre.
Uh-huh. And what I want you to do is mix and mash right there at the edge of your puddle of paint.
Remember you said hold it up.
There
Get
you
that
go.
pressure.
Mm-hmm. Not to put you under any more pressure.
Yeah, I don't have any pressure on me.
No. It's all on me today.
Okay.
All right. So then you're going to use the corner of your brush, and we're going to start just kind of skimming right around the outside of that left sunflower center.
Okay. Corner.
Corner. Uh-huh. Just kind of scrub. All right. Let me just point out something.
Yep.
I'm watching you do like this, really trying to get right around that. You're trying to be too careful.
Okay.
So put your brush down at the corner and just kind of scrub.
Oh, okay. So one of these.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And you're not going to need any more paint. You're going to make it all the way around that sunflower center.
Do a little rotation.
There you go. All right. Let's have you wipe some of that paint off of your brush.
Okay.
Just give it a quick wipe on your shop towel. And
this shop towel's been used.
I know, but you can keep using it because they're good for this. All right, now that's good enough.
Okay. Oh.
No, you're good.
Okay.
All right, so now what we're going to do is take that same corner of our brush, and you're just going to scrub back and forth a little bit, letting that color kind of fan out into the sunflower petals.
Okay.
So we want more of a sketchy. Yeah, there you go. See how that's working?
Yeah.
All right. If you need to pick up a little more paint, you can.
Do you think I need to?
You may. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And then just scrub it on again.
Last time we painted sunflowers, I had paper towels, and this time I have shop towels.
Yes.
So that tells me that I'm upgrading.
We, just like Beyonce, we're going to upgrade you.
Yeah. Okay.
Beyonce was the one who did the upgrading, right?
Oh, I took your word for it.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
You know that my taste in music is pretty far from Beyonce, so.
Well, and mine is not Beyonce, but I am more Beyonce adjacent than you.
Fair.
All right, so what we're going to do is do the same thing on our next sunflower. So if mine had more brown in it, so yours, you want to vary it up a little bit. So
okay.
If one had more brown, then this next one might have more gold in it. If yours is more gold, you might want to put more brown in it. But we're going to scrub this on in a less perfect way than you had before.
Okay,
so
really trying to let loose here.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to this sunflower, we've got a couple of petals that are kind of coming in front of it. So we're going to go around those petals. So you can see.
Like these two right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're going to kind of go around those, and we haven't messed any inside our sunflower petal. But this is what we've got, kind of a weird little shape there. This kind of stuff right there is what we're really looking for.
Yeah.
So that kind of messiness.
Okay.
There you go. Just want to throw a little caution to the wind. Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit, and I think we're going to put out we need some darker color. So I'm going to put out a little, no, we've got teal on our palette, and let's put a little true burgundy, because this is going to make a darker color for us.
So true.
So a little true burgundy, there you go. And we'll also put out a little Prussian blue. Prussian blue is also a really dark, transparent color. And we are going to start in on our leaves.
Okay.
So I'm going to do one, and then you're going to do one.
Sounds good.
Alrighty. So I'm taking some teal, going to add a little bit of Prussian blue to it. And I want you to watch how I'm mixing this off to the side. I picked up some paint, put it there. Now I'm picking up paint, and we're mixing it in here. And I'm going to darken it with a tiny little bit of true burgundy. So you see how we're getting this darker color going on.
So you went 1, 2, 3.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And,
I guess you could have gone in any order.
Well, you can, but just to let you know, there is method to the madness. Okay. I want more teal, so that's the color I picked up first. Then the next amount I want is Prussian blue, and the least amount I want is true burgundy.
Gotcha.
Because if I started with true burgundy, then I've got to put a lot more of every color to get where I want. All right, so I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that Prussian blue just to make this a darker teal kind of color. And we are going to this time use the corner of our brush, and we are going to go right around our sunflower petals and kind of underneath that other leaf. All right, see how I'm mainly kind of sweeping and scrubbing with the corner of the brush?
I think so.
Okay, I'm just waiting on you there. All right, so
I'm waiting on me too.
That's okay. So I'm going to come down toward the center vein, and I'm going to wipe my brush off, pick up a little bit of sunny yellow, and we're going to just pat that light color on. Not much paint. And then we're going to go right along that center vein. Tap, tap, tap. Don't. I'm hearing a big sigh over there. Don't do that yet. So we're tapping, 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 and patting that color on. And that's given us the right side of our leaf. And so tell me what you're worried about now, because I can hear you're
the
worried.
fact that you've introduced a fourth color to this thing before I've even started the step is worrisome.
Okay, well, don't be fretting. We're gonna get you through this. All right. So can you see that I've got light to dark, light to dark, light to dark, and it starts light and gets darker again.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm with it.
I'm gonna let you go. Hold the brush however you're comfortable.
Oh, word? Okay.
Word.
All right.
Is word a thing?
Word's the word.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like fetch.
The fetch is never happening, Andy.
Well, I knew we were supposed to quit trying to make fetch happen.
Too much?
I don't think so. Let's go ahead and get that mixed in there.
All right, and then we went to...
A little tiny bit of that. It's going to be great. Yep, don't add more. There you go. Because if you're watching what's happening, that's really going to change the color pretty quickly.
Okay.
You may have too much paint on your brush. I'm just thinking that. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so you went...
Underneath the sunflower petals.
Yeah, okay. And
so
then
go ahead and do that.
We're doing this scruffy?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. However works for you. Look at you go. Make your little dark line down the center.
Yep.
You can see your little pattern there. So there you go. All right. Now on this side, you're going to scrub from here out toward the edge. No, pick up no more paint.
Okay. Like all the way across, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Look at you go. So proud of my Steven scrubbing that color on. It's okay. Just we're having fun here.
All the way across.
You can, or you can leave a little bit at the outside edge because you're going to wipe your brush off and pick up some sunny yellow.
Currently doing
yes,
that? Okay.
Currently doing that.
Okay.
We're doing that in IRT.
We're doing that in real time.
Yeah.
That's what you just said, isn't it? IRT in real time?
Is that what they say? Is that what the young people say? IRT?
I've only heard you say that one time.
Listen.
Just
No, I'm not really.
Okay, so then yellow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't pretend to be hip or to know what the young people are saying.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to get some more yellow later.
That's okay. Well, let's mix that in our brush here.
Oh yeah. Into the blue.
No, in a separate little spot. There you go. Just gonna brush that back and forth, making sure that we've got that color in our brush.
Okay.
All right, and then you're going to put that right over here and scrub that way. So you might want to turn your canvas upside down now. There you go, and then you can scrub out toward the other side of the leaf and get some of that blue color up there and blend that together.
You're painting leaves.
You are definitely painting leaves. Now you're going to take what's on your brush and you're going to put that on this side of the leaf and then scrub back toward the center. There you go. Now look at how easy that was.
I was into it like 2 seconds ago, and now I'm thinking it looked more like a leaf before I put paint on it.
Nope, you're doing good. So wipe your brush off.
Okay.
And then I want you to just soften right along that same line there. So just kind of scrub so that we don't have that harsh blue line. All right.
Okay.
Great job there. Okay, so I'm picking up some more Prussian blue, and you're going to mix it right in that same puddle of paint. More Prussian blue right in there. And I'm going to pick up a little tiny bit of that burgundy, just a little bit, and we're going to mix it in. And watch how I'm mixing. I am just like I'm painting in the same little puddle.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, I am going to start up here kind of in between my two sunflowers. And see how kind of sketchy that is. So a
Yeah.
little paint up there. And then I'm coming right around my sunflower petals. Again, scrubbing that paint on. And then we are bringing it down the center of our leaf. And I'm going to pick up some teal and a little yellow. And we're scrubbing that on. And you see how I'm coming in and softening it into that blue.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what we're after. And that's going to give us our 1/2 of our leaf. And then we're going to start in with some of that yellow right along this side. I'm going to scrub that out. If I need to, I can pick up a little aqua and start softening there. And we're just messing that up so we don't have a hard line. I'm not trying to paint anything particular. I'm looking to make sure that my color transition is kind of soft there. And then we're going to scrub that on out to the edge of our leaf.
Okay.
All right, so get going, get cracking. And
Where
remember,
did you go? You went here?
I went underneath the sunflower petals on kind of both sides of the leaf. But we're not done with these leaves. We're going to come back and mess with them, as it were.
Okay. All right, and then you added aqua into that same.
You can just add aqua kind of off by itself there. Mix it into your brush, and then you're going to go right with that.
Okay, and do the same spots.
No, we're just going to start down here in our leaf, and not go all the way up into our dark.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that we soften where our aqua and our darker blue meet. Now, Stephen, since we're here in Kansas, do you know who one of the most famous residents of Kansas was? Back in the 1930s, we'll say.
Oh, I was gonna say the Jayhawks, but I don't think they were around in the 30s.
Well, they're also not a person. They're a sports team. At least I think they are.
I don't know who.
All right. Well, I was going to say Dorothy Gale.
Okay.
Do you know who Dorothy Gale was?
Is that Dorothy from Wizard of Oz?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I didn't know her last name.
Yes.
Okay.
So, okay, now you're going to start with some lighter color out here at the edge, so some of the yellow mixed in with that.
Okay.
Yes, Dorothy Gale. And did she stay in Kansas?
I think so. She stayed on a farm, right?
Well, until what happened?
Oh, the big tornado.
Yes.
And then she went to Oz.
Exactly. All right, so that big
Tragic.
That big tornado is not an unusual occurrence in Kansas. They are prone to that. Now, right next to that, you're going to put some more lighter color. There you go. Look at you, right into the yellow. Mix it right on your palette. You're getting this. Doing such a great job.
Are you telling me that we're in Tornado Valley right now?
Tornado Alley.
Alley.
Yes. It's just a miracle that Kansas has not been blown off the map.
That is not nearly light enough.
There you go. Looking at what's happening on your canvas and making adjustments as you go.
This is a little.
You need some more yellow brick road, don't
Yeah,
you?
I do. I need to follow it too.
Well, it will take you to the Emerald City.
Whoa.
So you just wipe off when you think you got some excess paint going on there. There you go. Look at you. I am so impressed.
All right, so then you blended.
We want to soften this that direction.
And with the boo-boo?
Like this.
Okay. So just like regular.
Just like regular. Exactly. Look at you go. There you go. Now you might want to wipe your brush off so that you're not carrying all that light color across the leaf. We want to have it transition. There you go. Don't mess with that much more because I think we're in good shape. Because we're already into our Wizard of Oz. And so who was with Dorothy on her wonderful adventure in Oz?
Toto.
Yes, the dog.
Yeah. 2, Scarecrow. 3,
Yes.
Tin Man. 4, the Lion.
Cowardly Lion, yes.
And
Those are the people. Well, of course, Glinda and the Wicked Witch of the West, who
who's
did not have a.
Glinda?
Glinda, the Good Witch of the North.
Oh, I didn't know her name was Glinda.
Stephen doesn't know anyone's name in Kansas. Since we've talked about her adventures in Oz, did you follow The Wiz?
No. Was that a musical?
Of course. It was a musical.
Yeah, it's not really my speed.
It,
Unfortunately.
it starred Diana Ross as Dorothy and Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow. And
I mean, it makes sense he'd be the Scarecrow.
well, the dance sequence of Ease on Down the Road, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
And when Dorothy helps the Scarecrow off the pole in the cornfield, Michael Jackson's body looks like it does not have a bone in it. He just drops his sword, and you're like, hey, he sold it, and everyone bought it. So back into this. All right, Stephen, even though you don't know The Wiz, we are going to whiz through this little leaf up top. And what I want to do, we've got dark leaves down here, and we need this leaf to be pretty light so that it doesn't detract from our main focus of our sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to take a little teal and a little sunny yellow. And if you remember, that's basically what color we had in our background. I know that was a long time ago, many miles ago, it seems.
I mean, we've been on the road a long time.
All right, so not too much paint on your palette or on your brush, but we're going to make a color that is slightly darker than what we've got on our canvas. And so while you're doing that, I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and it's pretty easy. All right, so I'm going to start at the tip of the leaf, and I can't see the color. So I know I need to darken mine a little bit, and you're just going to have to check this. See, there I can see that color now. And I'm going to basically just tap that color on around the outside of the leaf. And I'm going to do it over here too, so our leaf is kind of heart-shaped. And I'm going to do a little bit of paint on the dark side and pick up some more yellow and put that over here on the light side. And then a little dab over there. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay. Starting at the tip.
Mm-hmm. Checking your color to make sure that it's just a little darker than your background. Perfect.
Okay. And then you went which way?
Down toward the stem.
That's right. Okay.
And then across the bottom, making that kind of heart-shaped look. There you go. Don't make me release those flying monkeys.
Okay. And then did you
Picked up a little bit, wipe your brush on your shop towel.
Okay.
And then you're going to pick up some more sunny yellow. Or some yellow brick road yellow. And then on the wider side, you're going to put that right next to the center line and then dab out toward the edge. There you go. And when you start, you're going to...
It almost looks like it's too close to the background.
No, it's good. You're going to
Okay.
run into that darker color and just soften that so you don't have a harsh line. Got a soft transition there. Look at you go. You getting the hang of this?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Like it or not, you're going to do good.
I really want to go back and darken this line here.
Don't worry about that yet. If we still feel that way at the end of our trip on our wonderful journey in Oz, we can go back and change that.
Okay.
All right, so go back to your original color that you put on your leaf, which is right there.
Good, thank you.
All right, and we're going to put some of that right along our center vein line, and then we're going to soften it toward this side
Towards
of
the
the leaf.
outwards.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There you go. Now we've got some action happening on that leaf.
Okay.
And stop. Quit. Now let's take our aqua and sunny yellow, and we are going to start up here at the back side of our sunflower bud, and I'm going to use my chisel edge and pull the stem down and then pull the stem out of that leaf, and we're just going to connect those two things.
Yeah, I
There
still
you
have
go.
problems like mixing the brush
That's
or
okay.
mixing the paint
Mhm.
in the brush.
It's an acquired skill, and because you paint with me once every 6 to 8 months, It's just going to take you a little longer to master that. But it's good. It's like learning knife skills in the kitchen.
That doesn't look half bad.
That's good. So when you start to learn to chop an onion, it takes forever. All your pieces are different sizes. The more you chop, the better you get, the faster and more uniform everything happens.
And onions have layers. So does a painting.
I bet there's going to be some graphic there for that.
I don't know.
And then right up here at the end of our stem, we're going to tap and we're going to make a little shape like that, a little kind of curved shape.
Something to hold the petals.
That's exactly what this is. You are an excellent student. Perfect. Let's leave that alone.
Okay.
All right. Now, what I want to do is wipe my brush out pretty well. And I think we're not going to worry about that. We're going to take burnt umber and we are going to paint right in the middle of, we're going to paint this whole sunflower petal. It's not a petal, it's a center.
Center, yeah.
Going to fill that in with burnt umber. Remember, we're going around those little petals that are creeping up over the top of it, and we're just patting that dark color on. It's going to look something like that. That helps you. There you go. You're about done with that.
Cool.
All right. Now, we've got a bigger sunflower down here. So what we're going to do is start right along the left edge of our canvas, from one edge of the center down to the other edge. And then I'm going to kind of mark off a little oval there. We're going to put a different color there, but we're going to gently paint in our sunflower center with burnt umber.
Andy, did you know that Kansas has the world's largest easel?
I found that out because I was told that you knew all about the largest easel.
Well, I actually
in
saw it
Kansas.
on the road, but you were asleep.
I was asleep.
And I was trying to wake you up, and I said,
It was-
Andy, it's 80 feet tall.
That's huge.
It's on the side of the road somewhere, and it has a painting of a sunflower on it.
Van Gogh's sunflower.
That's right.
All right, so what we're going to do next is take some of our yellow ochre, and we're going to add a little true burgundy to that. And what we're doing is making this rusty color, which almost looks like spicy brown mustard when you get it mixed in there. And we're going to just kind of tap and pat that on our sunflower. Doesn't have to cover it completely. And then we're going to soften that down into our burnt umber. Take a little of that paint off your brush because you love you some paint on that brush. All right, take more paint off.
It's like scooping peanut butter.
Take some more off. Really fold that. There you go, pinch and wipe. Now you've got just enough paint on the brush.
Oh, no paint?
Yes. All right, but you see how much easier it is to soften that color in there.
Not wrong.
There, thank you. Whew. This Kansas heat is getting to my brain. All right, quit messing with it.
Okay.
All right, so that looks good. So we've got sunflower centers and we've got some smeared color going out into our petals. We are going to pick up a different paint application tool. All right, now we're going to hold it like this, and then I want you to put your index finger perfect on the little crook there, so you can put the palette knife down. All right.
This says Chris Williams on the back of it.
It does. That's
Did
her.
you steal her?
I did steal her palette knife.
Andy, we're all the way in Kansas.
Well, she's got another one. Trust me, she's not doing with
She's
that.
gonna be mad at you.
If you mess it up, she's gonna be mad at you. All right. So what I want to do is to teach you how to put almost no paint on the back side of your palette knife.
Okay.
All right. How much paint?
Almost none.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to take my palette knife and I'm going to touch it to my yellow ochre. All right, got a lot of paint on there. So I'm going to turn it right down and I'm going to tap, 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 tap. And I'm going to move it from side to side. See me moving that? All right, now let's look at what we've got on there. There's still a good bit of paint.
So I need to have it on the end?
Well, it's helpful.
Okay.
All right, so we're tapping this out and what we're doing is creating a little zone. All right, Slow your roll.
Okay.
All right. So see, I'm creating a little zone here. I'm not getting rid of all of my paint, but if you keep up at this rate, you're going to fill up your palette and half of mine. And the objective, again, the flying monkeys
Sorry,
will be coming your way.
There was an intrusive thought, and I let it win.
Well, that's okay. You can have your intrusive
Okay.
thoughts, but what I want you to do is to keep playing in one spot so that you are really aware of how much paint is on your palette knife. All right, so I'm moving down, and I look at how much is off of there. Look right next to each other.
Yeah, we got work to do.
Okay, so just keep tapping and patting, and you will have less paint there. Reason I want you to start off with a small amount of paint on your palette knife is less chance of an instant boo-boo.
Yeah.
Okay? We can have a boo-boo, but just don't start there.
Sure.
All right. So I'm going to start on this big sunflower that's off to the left. I'm going to put my palette knife down, and I'm going to move to the side. All right. Let me show you how much paint came off.
Almost none.
Almost none. Because?
Because we have such little paint.
That's right. All right. Go ahead and put a little sunflower petal on. Did you get any paint off? Almost none. Let's come back and pick up a little bit more paint from our puddle where we've got some paint there and give that a try on here. So you see I've picked up more paint, and see if you get more paint on your petal. Yes, you did. All right, great. All right, pay attention to this kind of area where the paint seems to almost sputter off of your palette
A little
knife.
speckling.
That is key to what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to take some more of my yellow ochre, and I'm going to move over to another petal, and I'm going to put that on there, and I'm going to just slide it down toward the center. All right, you might need a little more paint on your palette knife.
I took it seriously when you said...
Let me tell you, I've been teaching people to do this for a long time, and most people put too much paint, and they're not able to control it. All right, so when you put your palette knife down, put it flat down, and then you can just slide from side to side. Okay, see how you're getting that on there?
Yeah.
All right, I've got more paint on mine.
Mm-hmm.
I think I frightened you a little bit, or maybe not frightened is not the word, but scared you a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so a little bit more paint is going to be okay, because what we're doing is we're building our petals, and they've got more.
It's like not even coming off at all.
Well, there you go. Pick up a little bit more, and there you go.
Okay.
All right, so see how I'm kind of building petal by petal?
Yeah, you're going down.
Going down a little bit. So when I need to, I pick up more paint, and I pat, pat, pat on my palette. You can pick up more paint.
Okay.
Pick it up more toward the tip.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah, more toward the tip, and then when you tap, you are controlling it more at the end. So I'm just going to turn my canvas a little bit and skip a little bit, and I'm putting another petal on there.
You went the other way with that one.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening here?
Okay, let me just stop and tell you. You've got paint all the way down here.
Okay.
Look at your palette knife.
No, I see it. It was down here.
So
yeah.
just go ahead, lay your palette knife flat on your shop towel, and clean everything off.
Okay.
All right? Before you start thinking you're doing something wrong, you are getting the point exactly the way you're supposed to. All right, so we're going to pick up, when I pick up paint, more toward the tip, and then tap, 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 and there, you see where I've got paint that's mainly on the upper half. There you go.
Okay.
Now, let's try that again. There you go.
Okay.
All right, so we're getting this, and we're going to work around our sunflower. We can skip a petal if we want to, and then, you see, Stephen, I'm going right back into my little loading zone here, where I'm picking up just enough paint, and I make another petal. Okay, you're starting to get it. It's mainly putting the paint on and then tapping till I get that paint moving down toward the center. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, I got it in the center over here.
That's not a problem. Let's make sure that we are tapping and picking up paint that way, and we get it on the upper half of our palette knife, and then when you, let me show you this, Stephen. This might help a little bit.
Okay.
When I get my palette knife loaded more toward the upper half of the knife, I can set that palette knife down and I can just slide back and forth. And I'm in control of how far down my paint moves. If I need more, go back, pick up some more, and slide it on.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be all in one fast motion. You can keep picking up paint 2 or 3 times on one petal. But this is so much faster than doing it with a brush. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come back and go in between these big gaps, and we're going to start. I can't do it upside down. I'm just going to show you real quick. On one, we're going to come right out here and bring that right down.
Go in
So
between.
yours doesn't look any different than what I did. So don't be thinking, because I could hear the little gears in your head going, mine's not looking like his, but it's mostly on the upper half or upper third of your palette knife is where we are really getting our color on our palette knife. There you go. Look at that, filling it in like a pro.
This is not easy.
But it's also not hard. What it is, it's unfamiliar to you. It's something new.
My heart goes out to all of our Lunch and Learn viewers who get scared every time you pull out a palette knife. I understand now.
There you go, Stephen. All right, Stephen.
Let's do that.
That is very, very good.
Let's go with that.
All right, so now we're going to use some medium yellow. Put some medium yellow out on your palette for you. And I'm going to put some medium yellow out on a palette for me. And we're going to do the same thing, but not as much.
Okay.
So we're going to clean off our palette knives. So what we're going to do is upper half or upper third of our palette knife. And we're going to tap, tap, tap. Okay. So tap, tap, tap to spread that paint out. And I'm going to do a little highlight. So it might be right over my petal. Tap, tap, tap. Loading up with some yellow. Maybe we're going to do a bigger dab there.
This is still really wet.
Mine is still really wet
Okay.
too. That's what we want. Look at you starting to highlight that sunflower petal like a pro. All right, now kind of work that back down there and work on getting a little bit more of a petal shape. I'm just that's what we're going for. Is just a petal shape.
I thought everything we did here was impressionistic.
It isn't. We're giving the impression of a petal.
This thumb wipe technique is working for me.
Okay. I just avoid getting paint on my hands because
I mean, look,
I
clearly I don't care.
clearly you don't. I guess that's one of those things that over the years I've just decided I don't want. We are on to Sunflower 2.0.
Okay.
Same thing. We're going to pick up yellow ochre, and my little loading zone there is kind of a mess. So,
Well, mine is like the Sahara Desert size over here.
okay, so we're going to move over. Same thing. Tap, tap, tap to get that palette knife loaded on the upper half. And we are doing the same thing. Just kind of tapping this down. And I'm just going to be moving around the sunflower, making some petals.
I think you're going to regret having missed the giant easel, because our easel back here, it
does have a fabulous big
It does
chicken.
have a great big chicken on it, but it's not. Doesn't hold a candle to that 80-foot Van Gogh easel.
Well, at some point in your life, I hope that you do get to travel over to Europe and get to go see the Van Gogh Museum, although that's probably not high on your bucket list.
No,
at this
it
point.
actually is. Like, I would love to go. Like, I mean, any city that I go to, I want to go see like art and culture museums there, just because I think that that's cool. Even though like I don't necessarily do art in those mediums, I do appreciate it.
Well, you are part of a whole new genre of art, which is your video work. And that's something that I don't know anything. I shouldn't say I don't know anything about it. I know what you've told me about it.
You fall victim to my video work a lot.
You know, Stephen, that I find all of that stuff just about as funny as it can be. And I am always amazed at your creativity. So bravo to you and what you are able to do with the tiny morsels I feed you.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Have you ever been to Seattle?
I think I've been to the airport in Seattle.
Okay. If you ever go to the city, Seattle, you should take a look at the Museum of Pop Culture.
Okay, very cool.
And you, being a pop culture fan, you would love it there.
And by pop culture fan, you mean stuff that you were not
A 60s pop culture fan.
All right, now you're hitting close to home there. I am getting close to being a senior citizen. So don't worry about those petals that are coming across the front of the sunflower right now.
Okay.
So we're just going basically around the outside.
Okay.
All righty.
What do you think?
I think we're in good shape. Looking good. All right, so I'm going to now take some medium yellow.
You didn't clean it off?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
It's automatic for me.
Okay.
I finish up with my palette knife and I clean it off so that it's always ready to go. It's like putting your gun in your holster. Pull it out and it's ready to go. This is medium yellow, and just like we did on this sunflower, we're going to highlight some of our sunflower petals. And I'm going right around my sunflower doing the same thing you're doing.
Okay, good. Because if I looked up and you were 6 steps ahead of me, I would stress.
I'm never going to stress you out like that. It's almost going to quote some Rick Astley. Never going to give you up.
There you go.
Never going to let you down. I used to.
My generation knows that song for another reason. And if you're my age, you get that.
Well, this girl that I worked with, she loved him, thought he was the greatest and everything. And I said, you can't tell one song from another. And she goes, sure I can. I said, so we had a little tape player. And I'm like, I'm just going to play you a snippet of a song and you tell me what it is. She couldn't guess any of the songs off of the entire album. Okay, so we are enjoying our Kansas sun and sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to let you keep playing with that for
Are we worried about this?
I'm not.
Okay.
Are you?
A little bit.
Okay. Usually, see, I've got a big bunch of it over here too, so it's not like you're alone there.
Well, this is just like intruding on the...
That's okay. It's not intruding on anything. There you go. Look at you making those petals.
I am enjoying the palette knife more now. I don't know if I'm getting better at it, but I'm getting used to it.
You are getting the hang of it. You're doing a great job. You know, I would not set you up to fail in front of the whole internet. I might set you up to fail and laugh at you
privately,
privately, but not in public. Actually, that's not true. Whenever I get to show somebody how to paint, I want them to have a really nice, positive experience with it, and to have some fun, because this is unlike some activities. You can enjoy your entire life.
Yeah.
There are some things that have a moment and a season, and then it's like, okay, you know, Grandpa, move over. You're too old for this. You're certainly not hip. And of course, Stephen's like, I don't think you've ever been hip. And that may be true, but you don't ever need to voice that.
I did not say that.
I heard it so loud.
I didn't. I don't. I think listen, Andy. I've seen old pictures of you, and I can just tell by the way you were dressed and like the I'm gonna throw up this photo.
I can't even imagine what picture it is.
You'll find out. But you looked super cool in this photo.
Is it very dark background, black shirt? I look like Anton LaVey. I love that photo.
It's a great photo.
I
need to bless the internet with this photo.
I've got my palette knife loaded, not too much paint, and I'm going to come right down. I want you to watch this. Okay. All right, so right next to my sunflower center, I'm going to come right down there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do the same thing as I put another one of these petals on that comes right across the front. You might need a bit more paint there, my friend.
Okay.
grasshopper. Okay, that's looking good. And I'm going to come back from the other direction. You may need to do that or not. It's up to you. But we'll put another little petal on there.
Okay.
So we've got these petals that are kind of tilting up across the front of our sunflower.
Okay.
All right.
Wait.
Okay, there you go.
It was calling to me.
What I saw right then was like, you looked at it, you made an artistic decision, and you needed something to go there. All right, so we've got all of this yellow paint on here, and now we're going to take some sunny yellow, which is a lighter yellow.
Okay, I'm going to need to put some more of that on.
That's fine, but I'm not making you mix any kind of color. And we will, just like we did over here, we put yellow over gold. Here we've got yellow over gold, and we are going to now put some lighter yellow on.
Now that I've got the hang of the palette knife, or I have more of a hang of it than I did.
You're not the least bit concerned about this. You're like, I got you.
Well, I want to go back and do more of.
Yeah, that time has passed. When you paint this again.
You can tell which one I did first.
That's okay. We're not done with this one over here.
Okay.
But we're going to put some highlights on, and we're not going to highlight every.
Does it matter which direction?
Not
the
to me.
Coming from?
We're not that fussy with this painting.
Okay.
And I'm not having to tell you, oh, go back and do this and change that. You're looking at what's going on. You're putting 2 and 2 together, and you are figuring out how to get out of Oz.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm smelling what you're stepping in. I might cut that.
I was gonna say, I like that.
I don't know if it's going in the edit, but I'm.
That I think was just about the best part of this whole.
Don't you love that?
I do. You've got to leave that in. All right, so I'm going to, on these petals that are coming across the front of my sunflower, I'm really going to hit that center one.
Okay.
Pretty hard.
Just this little middle one.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Leave it alone. Perfect.
Okay.
That's what you want. So now we've got a big contrast of light petal and dark center.
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to take a tiny little break. We are going to dry our sunflowers. We are back. We've got our sunflowers are dry, and we are going to paint our little sunflower bud. Right, bud?
Right,
All
bud.
right, so I'm going to take a little bit, very little bit of medium yellow on my number 8 flat brush. Look how little bit of paint I have. Very little bit. All right. So I can see that I've got a little bit of a pattern there, and what I'm going to do is put my brush down and just kind of skim back some color.
Okay. Last time you told me we need a little bit of paint, I had not enough paint actually.
Well, you're going to get to that place where you know the sweet spot.
Okay.
Isn't that what?
Let me watch you do it one more time.
Isn't that what baseball players have to find?
That sweet spot?
Or I heard that sweet spot.
They do.
Okay. Because you can tell, Stephen.
Yeah, you know,
I've never.
Jazz musicians, they call it being in the pocket.
Yes.
You know, there's
an artist calls it, I guess, being in the zone or something like that. So I'm just kind of brushing a little bit of yellow on, from the end of the petal down toward the base. Okay. All right. So basically, Stephen, that's about what I've got. You're getting there.
Okay.
But you just don't want to put too much paint on this, because this is kind of moving outside of the main focus of our painting.
You don't want it to take away.
That is exactly right, my friend.
We're finding a focus and a background.
Yes. And in fancy art talk, our focus is often called the center of interest. Just
center of interest.
Yes.
That sounds like it could be like the name of an improv group or something, or a band.
Yes, I guess it could be. I don't know. I dislike improv with every fiber of my being.
Why?
It's just awful.
This is not like your.
It's not my shtick.
Okay.
Don't mess with that anymore. Stop with your bud.
Word.
All right. So, and again, with the word, I don't know who.
Say less, King.
All right. So I don't know even where any of that's coming from, but we're going to pick up some sunny yellow on our little number 8 flat brush. Again, not much paint.
Okay.
And notice that I'm going to set my brush down on the flat surface of the brush and I'm just going to skim back.
You're just scooting it down.
I am scooting it down.
Okay.
We are not doing any boot scooting boogie. Cannot even imagine that. I don't see you as a Texas two-stepper.
No.
Or country line dance. I don't see.
We for some reason every year in middle school, and I grew up in Alabama, if this helps, we had like a 2-week period where we would do like line dancing and square dancing, and I'm like, aren't we supposed to be playing like kickball or something? And they're like, no, you got to learn to do the 12-3-6-3 move.
All right, so we're just painting in our little bud. You've got yours done. I've got mine done, and we're going to call that finished for right now.
Okay.
All right. So what we are going to do next is probably take a little break because I need to get a couple of more colors for us, and then we're going to come right back. I know we didn't do much between these breaks, but we're going to get some colors and put some different colors in our sunflower centers and on our petals. So we are back from our little break, and we've got burnt sienna on our palette, and I'm also going to put out some hot saffron. All right, and what we're going to do, let's do a couple of different things. First thing, we're going to take some burnt sienna, load up our palette knife, not too much paint, and on kind of the top edge of our sunflower center, we're going to go a little crazy, but I want you to see how it's kind of sputtering around. Mm-hmm. And if I go outside of the center, if I don't have too much paint, I can get this really crazy look right around those petals. So where you might not have ended your petals right where your center is, mm-hmm. we're going to put some burnt sienna on there. And hang on, I'll show you one more thing. Do a little bit more here with our hot saffron, which is a really great orange color. And so we're going to put some of that on. And if you don't have too much paint on your palette knife, you will get this beautiful kind of sputtered colored effect. I'm going to let you do that first with your burnt sienna. Not too much.
Okay. And then you just sort of like circled it.
I did.
Okay.
There you go. See how that works? And when you're out of paint, you got to pick up some more. But if a lot of people will have way too much paint on their palette knife, and so they don't get that lovely little sputtering effect, which is what you want. Mm-hmm. And once you learn how much paint to look at that, proud of you, Steven.
It's good stuff.
It is good stuff. See, we had to wait till we were well into the Emerald City.
Uh-huh.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Do you think people who live in Kansas just get absolutely sick of Wizard of Oz references, or like do you think they hold it near and dear? It's like
I think it's probably 50-50.
Yeah.
It's just like Atlanta. We get Gone with the Wind and Terra. Mm-hmm. But, it's just part of, Kansas wouldn't be Kansas without the Wizard of Oz.
Good point.
So it looks good to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you just put that on there and just look at you go. All right, you're out of paint.
Mm-hmm. That didn't last long.
It doesn't. And that's what's great about it, is it doesn't last long.
Yeah.
And so I'm so happy that you are getting the hang of this. Because this is like one of those key techniques that we're going to use a lot in the future. Probably used it a lot in the past.
What do you think? I
think that's looking great. I would like a little more orange right up there. But if you don't want it, you don't have to put it there. Just making a suggestion.
You're the teacher here.
Well.
Right up here?
Yeah, right up there. There you go. Great.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's do the same sort of thing right up here on this little sunflower center. So you were going to say that I was more the cowardly lion. It's that sometimes I feel much more the scarecrow.
I don't think that it's anything to do with you as a person. It's more just the overall like look.
Okay.
So
I just look scared.
No, it's the mustache. You knew what I meant.
Okay, I'm just kidding with you. Let's do something a little, not quite yet. I was going to do something a bit different, but I'm scared to doing my total cowardly lion. So I'm going to take some hot saffron and some medium yellow, So I'm mixing a little bit of hot saffron with medium yellow. So I'm making a nice, pretty orange color. All right, and then what I'm going to do with that,
Whoa, now.
I did that just for you, Steve.
You did that aggressively, too.
Well, it's not that aggressively. It's just kind of casual, putting some of that on. And what I want you to do is to look and see that it's very scattered, because I didn't have much paint on my palette knife. So you can do that kind of stuff. And look at you do that, as you said, aggressively.
This is how, in my head, you did it before. Like
there
that.
you go. Look, it's perfect.
What?
Boom.
Method to the madness.
There is. There you go. Leave that alone. Stop, Stephen.
Done.
Yes, don't want to overdo. All right, so now I'm going to throw Stephen off a little bit, because we are going to use aqua in our sunflower.
Whoa.
So pick up a little bit of paint.
That is not a
Dab,
color
dab.
that usually occurs in sunflowers.
That's why it's fantastic to use. Not much paint on my palette knife. And I'm going to do this less aggressively for you this
Okay.
time, but kind of over in this area. Look at that. And isn't that amazing what that looks like on there?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It's a nice little, what's the word? Flourish.
Foil. It's a flourish.
Or
it's
foil.
a little bit of a foil, some rogue color, any of those things.
Which direction did you go?
It doesn't really matter. There you go. Stop.
I felt it. I
There-
felt that
There
it
you
was
go.
done.
That's all. That's
Say
all
less.
you need. It is. It is. And you have got to figure out where Say Less King came from.
Say less, King.
All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of my aqua and a little bit of my sunny yellow. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to check just kind of right here at the edge of my leaf. I want to see what that needs a little bit more yellow, but you see it's not jumping out at me. So I'm going to add a little bit more sunny yellow to this. So what I want is something that's pretty close to that background color. All right, so that's going to be good enough for me, and I'm going to put a little bit of that right there on that leaf. Okay, I think I would put a little more yellow in it.
Okay.
So there you go. Look at you. Okay, that's looking really nice.
Okay.
All right, so while we've got this color working, I'm going to put a little dab right in the sunflower center, kind of that general area right there. There you go, and I'm loving that. So I'm going to take some of that light color that we just smeared around there, and I'm just going to put a little bit up here in that sunflower center. There you go. Loving it. All right, so one thing we have to do is we need to take more of our sunny yellow, because I am going to make sure that you and I are coming up with a lighter yellowy green color that when I look at it here, it's almost exactly the same color.
Okay.
So when I touch it there, you see that it's almost exactly the same color?
Mm-hmm.
All right, reason that that is important is because I'm doing this. I'm making part of that sunflower bud disappear.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to bring some down here and kind of put a little bit in the background and on that leaf. Look at you. Doing a great job.
Thanks.
Excellent. There you go. So let's pick up our number 8 flat brush, and we're going to pick up some aqua and a little Prussian blue. And I'm going to just paint in my 2 little stems here at the bottom.
Are we trying to match this color perfectly?
No, no. At this point in the game, I am not trying to match anything perfectly. All right, my friend. I think we have come to the end of our yellow brick road. So there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There is no place like home.
Can I do the outro?
Oh, yes, you can do the outro.
Thanks for watching Art Talk with Andy and Steven.
Yes,
be
indeed.
sure to like and subscribe down below. Is there a pattern for this?
Yes, there will be a
There's
pattern.
a pattern in the description box that you can find and download and paint along with us. Leave a comment down below as well. And you can also email us at
art_talk@plaidonline.com. We'd love to hear your compliments.
Thanks for watching.